who's got it? Oh, and that's a wonderful goal by Caroline Weir.
He gets a shot away. It's a ripper.
England! Wonderful Chelsea goal.
It has been a bumper weekend of FA Cup semi-final action for both the men and the women in the glorious sunshine as well. What a treat. Yesterday, Manchester City booked their place in next month's Wembley final. Today, it's the turn of either 14-time champions Arsenal or the reigning champions Chelsea. It is a repeat of last year's final. Who will come up on top this time around?
Here's Kirby through, and Kirby scores. It's a game between the top two teams in the land. Kerr wrong puts the goalkeeper. Chelsea are 2-0 up. They have one hand on the cup. Sam Kerr for Chelsea, little dink. What a goal! What a goal to seal the FA Cup victory.
It is a near sellout crowd here at Boreham Wood, and Arsenal will be keen to avenge that 3-0 defeat from December and put on a show for the home crowd against their FA Cup rivals and nearest title challengers. Well, reigning FA Cup champions Chelsea completed a domestic treble with the cup final win back in December. It was the third time the Blues have won the competition, and they have recent momentum. They've won their last 3 FA Cup encounters against Arsenal since 2016. It is Arsenal against Chelsea in the Vitality Women's FA Cup semi-final. Kickoff here at Boreham Wood is in just under 15 minutes' time. Well, I'm delighted to be joined by not one but 2 FA Cup winners. Farrah Williams won it with both Arsenal and Everton as well. And Rachel, you won it with the Toffees with Farrah back in 2010 as well. Great to have you both here. Farrah, look, these are 2 sides who are going head-to-head for the FA Cup. They're going head-to-head for the title as well. Are they sick of the sight of each other?
No, look, when they're going head-to-head, you know they're in competitions till the very end. I think, look, top players want to play against top players, and look, they're going to get the bragging rights of London if they win this game. And I'm sure, having played for Arsenal, knowing what it means to play in a London derby and have those bragging rights at least for the week, it will mean something to these players, I promise you.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. And look, as far as bragging rights goes, in recent history, it is Chelsea who have the advantage. They've won their last 5 of 7 against Arsenal in the FA Cup. Arsenal, with all their history and their tradition in this competition, they will be desperate to put that right.
You're right. Arsenal have won the FA Cup so many times, and most times in history, the most decorated, football club in women's football, and you can see who Farrah's turned out supporting today as well.
Not true.
But in all honesty, it's a toss of a coin today. It's whichever team shows up, plays their strongest starting 11, has the depth on the bench, and looking, history can play a part, but there's 2 teams that are in absolute top form. Manchester City are catching up, but these are the 2 teams in form for me.
By the way, I'd argue that you're both in colour because you're in red and you're in blue.
I mean, I didn't want to put blue on today. I didn't want to get in trouble that I'm being a biased Chelsea fan every time I come on show. So I'm going to be an Arsenal
You don't know what's going on here. Lots of chat behind the scenes. Do you know what? The Arsenal manager, Jonas Eidevall, he is such a character, isn't he? Earlier this week, we sent Rachel Stringler along to meet him. He's a fascinating man. This is a great story about his history, his footballing philosophy, and his take on squirrels. Yes, you heard that right. Squirrels.
What were you like growing up in Sweden?
I played football, I watched football. A lot of my life circled around football. It was sort of my space and to find myself.
Was there then a key person that really got you into it?
To be honest, from a coaching perspective, it was in handball. It's a really good coach there. It just then showed to me how much it means to have a great coach that connects people together, that can share the same mental model, can share the same ambition. So he was a great role model for me.
What was the one thing then you think you took from your handball coach?
The personal connection. You will have a lot of different individuals in a team. You can feel that everyone understands the importance of their role, but also feel the joy of being there, and I think you have come a long way to create a good team.
You started, I guess, assistant managing. It was early. 23 years of age. Why did you go into that at such a young age?
Like most people, I got injured. Then the opportunity come at 23 years of age to work with a first team. Some of the players told me a year in, they said, it's lucky we didn't know you were only 23 years old. We thought you were 30 years old.
Can I talk to you a little bit about Rosengard when you're over there? Winning is super important over in Sweden.
I'm not sure if it's built in you. In that club, in that town, Malmö, you have to win. It's not that or winning, it's that and winning.
Jonas Eidevall has seen his team beat the reigning champions.
I wanted to ask a little bit about Arsenal as well. Arsene Wenger, am I right in saying, was a big role model for yourself?
The way that Arsenal played football made a huge impression on me, and it basically shows that, yes, it's really important to win, but if you can win in that style, then you can influence people for life as well.
How would you describe your philosophy here at Arsenal?
I would use one word.
Okay.
Lightning fast, because lightning, you see it before you hear the thunder, and that's what we want our communication to be like. I say you need to think like a squirrel. You need to move that fast, having these lightning fast reactions.
I love that you're telling your players to be like squirrels.
Yeah, or more exactly, think like them.
Or think like squirrels.
Yeah. You have to do everything in your power in every situation to do it as good as possible. And every detail matters. I want my players to have that mentality.
Always great to hear from Jonas Eidevall. Interesting take that on squirrels, Rachel Brown-Finnis. Lightning. He wants his team to be lightning quick, like squirrels.
Yeah, lightning fast like goalkeepers as well. And yeah, we've got red squirrels in our garden. So I understand exactly what he means, because they are nippy, they're agile. But I think maybe the girls will be a little bit weirded out by hearing the word squirrels all the time.
And squirrels are quite cute as well. I'm not sure that's
I don't think he wants them to
for.
be cute. There'll be no cute today. Tell you what, today is going to be so competitive. There's going to be feist, there's going to be tackles being snapped on everybody. So I don't think he'll be using squirrels in his pre-match team talk.
No, perhaps not. Let's find out what Emma Hayes will be using in her pre-match team talk. The Chelsea boss has been catching up with Kelly Summers.
We've seen all sorts of games against you two this season. We've seen Arsenal win, we've seen you win comfortably in December, and we saw that slightly cagey draw back in February. What sort of game should we expect today?
Who knows? None of us do, but two good sides that both want to make the final, both different styles in many ways, but two quality teams that I think we're in good form, and for us to want to keep building on how well we've been doing defensively and how clinical we've been. And I think the team has adapted so well with the amount of injuries and illness and etc. that we've had this year.
Well, look, Emma Hayes has had the luxury of a huge squad to choose from, and this is a key player in that squad. Beth England, Farrah Williams, has really had to wait for her opportunity at times, but when she's been given the opportunity, she's taken it with both hands.
Yeah, she definitely has. Look, she's been fantastic for this Chelsea team. She's been a fantastic squad player, and she just shows that, you know, the strength in her mentality. And look, this is what I've highlighted. I think what Beth England, she gives them a more direct physical approach to the game. You can see her here just winning the ball, but what she's so good at, she's so aggressive with her runs and finds herself in really good goal-scoring positions and gets herself a really good goal there against Leicester. But she puts defenders under immense pressure and really hurries them into making decisions and bad choices. And again, look, you can just see her determination to get into the box, get into key areas where she can get herself a goal. And that's a fantastic finish on the volley. And look, she's key to this Chelsea team, you know, now that Fran Kirby's out with illness.
Yeah, she is, absolutely. And she's been brilliant, hasn't she? And Emma Hayes says she's coming to form at exactly the right time. There's another Beth we want to talk about, Rachel, and that is Beth Mead. You've got to say, for someone like her, she is having the season of her life, isn't she? She's doing everything.
Yeah, it was a unanimous decision for us to highlight Beth Mead. She's been excellent for both her club and her country. We see the 2 goals that she gets on this occasion in the Cup, but she's scoring for the Lionesses, free scoring from that left-hand side or that right-hand side she's more commonly found on, but just slotting home with such ease and such confidence. It's great to be seeing the best Beth Mead, because there were glimpses of it a few years ago, and she's come into scintillating form.
Yeah, she really is. She started the season with a bang, didn't she? And she's just carried that on. You mentioned a little bit earlier about Fran Kirby being out with illness. She tweeted something this week. We know she's had sort of health issues in recent sort of years, but Emma Hayes says there's an element of fatigue. She's just not there. It's so sad to see, isn't it?
Yeah, look, it's so upsetting for every football fan, especially Lioness fans, and look, huge Chelsea fans. She's a key player in both of those teams. It's disappointing, but look, Fran's got to take care of her health. That is the most important thing. And look, she's got a great support team around her, away from the pitch. And at Chelsea, she's got a great support team. So I'm sure she's in good hands. And look, we wish her a speedy recovery.
Yeah, indeed. Well, look, this is a huge semi-final here. You can just hear the crowd. They are so expectant. They are absolutely delighted to be able to witness what we know is going to be a thrilling game of football between 2 hugely competitive sides, 2 sides that are desperate to get to that Wembley final next month. Who is it going to be, Arsenal or Chelsea? Let's find out. We'll throw you over now to our commentary team, the former Leeds United forward Lucy Ward, who is alongside Jonathan Pearce.
Thanks very much, Rajman. Good afternoon, everybody. Double or quits. One of these could end up with the league and FA Cup. One of them could end up with nothing for the 21-22 season. Chelsea's convincing 3-0 win at Wembley in December for Emma Hayes belonged to last season. It was the 3rd FA Cup final between these 2. The rivalry is at its fiercest right now. It was a mission revenge day that day for the WSL defeat here on the opening weekend of the season. Feelings have run deep since then. Arsenal make 1 change from the team that won 5-0 at Leicester in the WSL a fortnight ago to make it 6 wins in 8. Steph Catley, just back from wearing international duty with Australia, is preferred to Wienreuter, with Lotte Buber-Moy moving into centre-back because Eidevall would have wanted a left footer alongside Leah Williamson. Little time to prepare for this. 9 of the starting 11 were on international duty. Mead, by the way, has 4 in the last 7 games against Chelsea. There are surprises in that Chelsea lineup already without Fran Kirby. We've heard about exhaustive problem. Magdalena Eriksson, the captain, was sick yesterday. She can only make the bench. And Pernilla Harder, who's been out for a while recently, only fit enough for the bench as well. So 3 changes from the league win over Reading. And Katrin Berger returns for the first time since early February. She was dropped for Zatira Musovic. Niamh Charles replaces Eriksson, with Jess Carter shuffling across from right wing back into centre-back. G preferred to Jessie Fleming. Sam Kerr has scored in her last 9 games for club and country. The last time she failed to do so against Arsenal on February the 11th. How do you see it going, Lucy?
Well, it's so difficult to predict, Jonathan. I'm really looking forward to it. And I think you find with both of these 2 teams that the managers think so tactically thoroughly that it's always a tweak that wins the game, and sometimes you can't even put a piece of paper between the 2, with both of them so desperate to get through to the final.
Well, it was fiercely competitive here in the opening day of the season, but it was a rare victory for Arsenal against Chelsea, who've won 8 and drawn 2 of the last 11 meetings. The referee is Rebecca Welsh, and we're nearly off and underway. Chelsea, all in blue, will kick us off in this FA Cup semi-final for the right to play Manchester City at Wembley next month. Both finals, men's and women's, on the same weekend. And here to generous applause from a sellout crowd at Meadow Park, the players of Arsenal and Chelsea. And the team officials take the knee in the battle against racism and all social injustice. And a very impressive referee this season blows a whistle and off we go with Millie Bright captaining Chelsea, with Ericsson only on the bench. A little touch off to Wrighton. Looks for England in the middle, and all the way through it goes.
I'll tell you what, the rivalry, JP, between the two teams is that fierce that Arsenal actually warmed up with a back four in different positions, just in case Chelsea were watching, and that's what I'm talking about. Small margins will win this game.
Well, I don't think they were impressed with the celebrations from the Arsenal camp in the early game here, or not here, but the early game between the two teams. They thought the celebrations were rather excessive. There's no one who gets it away, but you're on the side about it. You can understand why he was celebrating.
Absolutely, I think it was his first game in terms of in the WSL, and his team played incredibly well.
Forward for Arsenal. Stillis is in the middle. With the cross looking for Beth Mead, and tucked away. So it's going to be the first corner kick of the game.
I like Caitlin Ford on that left-hand side. She links so well with the forwards, and such a array of attacking talents for both teams. But in terms of a corner, it's first one to Arsenal.
For one of those players back from lengthy travel in the international break, she played in both games against New Zealand, free friendly matches, and across the other side of the world. That's a real arse to come back and play in an FA Cup semi-final. They got back Thursday, Friday. Scheduling the games. Wait for another day. Deep ball into the Chelsea box, and headed away by Sam Kerr back there defending his Leah Balti. Is absolutely crucial for Arsenal, has been all season. Get a cross in here into the box, and it's steered away in there by Nowen. And Arsenal press again, and they get the cross in through Catley. Into the box it came. Williamson, who's trotting back now. Ruben Moy has it. McCabe operating on the right-hand side of defence. So it very much is a different lineup to what we thought it might be. Oh, sorry, Lucy.
I think Jonas Eidevall just looks at the way that Chelsea press and where they press, and I think that may have some, we'll see how the game progresses, but it may have something to do with the fact that McCabe is on this right-hand side rather than a usual left.
And Mead. It's a chance for Arsenal. Mead just taken away from her at the last moment. She has such a good scoring record against Chelsea, all the way back for Sunderland in July 2015. She got a hat-trick against Chelsea as a very young player.
Yeah, it's been positive, hasn't it, from Arsenal to start with, and we know all about Beth Mead, and she's all about scoring goals. Added quite a lot to her game, particularly from out wide, but it's a terrific run to get in behind.
Twice a runner-up in this competition against Chelsea. Arsenal fans all around us here at Meadow Park, as I'm sure you can hear. And they get the cross in again, low and flat into the box from Catley back to her. And that's a higher delivery and a good header away by Millie Bright. And Williamson has absolutely pummeled that into the face of Bethany Engel. She's gone down. Really felt the effect of that.
Yeah, there was a collective ooh around us, and it was really flush in the face, and then just a clip back in from Leah Williamson. But Beth England just needs to take her time to get herself off the floor, because that's a full on. She can see she's trying to get the ball back in. Absolutely no time to react for Beth England, but she is probably one of the toughest players on this pitch.
Well, she's been in very good form, 6 goals in the last 3, 2 in each of them in this extended run, because Fran Kirby is out at this moment in time. They're trying to get to the bottom of the problem with the England international, who suffered from pericarditis a couple of years ago. And I know that Chelsea are working really hard to make sure that Fran's okay, and we all, I think anyone who's ever been involved with women's football in this country, will wish young Fran all the very, very best, Lucy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, a person's health comes first, and I know that she's got the Chelsea family around her looking after it. It's so important that she gets herself healthy first before she starts playing.
And the England coach, Serena Wigman, looks on. Amy Simmons there to her left-hand side. It's her husband to her right-hand side. Making notes. England will start, of course, as favourites for the European Championships in the summer because they're on home soil. But Bethany England, who will hope to be in that squad, will know that difficult tasks lie ahead, and so, of course, does the England coach. Spain emerging as a very strong nation, Lucy, at this moment in time.
Yeah, I think Wiegman, because of the experience she had leading the Netherlands to a home Euros win in 2017, I think that gives her a great advantage in preparing the England squad for this summer.
Do you think young Alex Scott there sitting in front of the manager over on the far side, just a little bit of a nod to say perhaps if you're short I'm still available?
She probably could still do a job though, to be fair.
Former Arsenal Cup winner, of course. No one has won the Cup more times than Arsenal Football Club. No one has won more competitions than Arsenal. Most successful women's side ever, and that's in large part down to the work done here by Vic Akers, who started it all off. Terrific man, deserves rich praise. And when Zinsberger gets it away, starting the Cup final defeat in December, and the League Cup final, Continental Cup final defeat by Chelsea as well. Not so long ago. Really on top here now. Miedema, and forward, so many attacking options for Arsenal, and she's very strong on that left-hand side. Caitlin Ford. Beth England's okay. I'm looking for Kerr, talking about strength and danger. She has it all. Sam Kerr, 26 goals in 27 games this season, including 2 in the Cup final. Also look long for Blackstenius, and she's caught offside.
Yeah, Blackstenius' signing from Arsenal just adds a different dimension, because we all know about Miedema and the goals that she scored. She usually plays in the 9 and drops, but now Blackstenius is playing. She is the one that runs the channels. Offside that time, but it's just added a different dimension. They work so well together, and I think Vivic Miedema is happier deeper in that 10, where she can pick up really good positions and just allow her fellow teammates into areas where it's going to hurt the likes of Chelsea.
G. Here's Wrighton. Curls out wide. Arsenal stretched. Beth England's in the middle. Cuthbert's joining in. What a good player she is, by the way. Erin Cuthbert. Here's G. Elegant player, good pass for the ball. G always has been. Fantastic record with Chelsea and South Korea. Now Miedema behind Blackstenius with Ford on one side and Beth Mead on the other. Now what can they do here? Arsenal, they look for the run of Vivian Miedema.
Yeah, still trying to work each other out. I think when they're not in possession, Chelsea, they're a back 4, but as soon as they get it, they push the right back Charles on, and it makes a 3 at the back. So they're quite fluid. They've done that a few times, and it actually caught Arsenal out in the FA Cup final that was played in just before the new year.
White just pushes the ball down that far side from us. And trots back the England international defender, but it's a free kick for Chelsea. 13 goals this season for Beth England. Still signs of blood there from the nosebleed. Couple against Arsenal in the Cup in round 5 in 2019. Couple in that Continental Cup victory. Erin Cuthbert let that ball go out of play there. It was a forlorn chase for her, but she'll chase everything. Lucy, what a season she's having.
Yeah, I mean, she can play in multiple positions, Erin Cuthbert, that's what makes, and she's so tenacious. She can pass it well, obviously, physically, she's excellent. But, you know, I think Chelsea work much better when there's 3 in that midfield. At the moment, Ingle, who is excellent again, and the 2 in front, Cuthbert and G. I think they work better rather than the double pivot. I think Manchester City took full advantage of that in the Conti Cup final.
Katrin Berger back in goal for Chelsea. Had a little bit of a wobbly patch, but 27 clean sheets in her previous 30. She found herself out of the side. Experienced goalkeeper, German international. a great clearance, Little. Looks for me. Here comes Carter with the challenge. Now G. Wrighton. And tracking back with G to win it. And G strong in the tackle as well against McKay. Carter. What a good season she's having as well. Now in the England ranks again. Played in the recent games against Macedonia and Northern Ireland. There's a foul on Ingle. She's got a crucial role today, has Sophie Ingle, hasn't she, Lucy? Because with Miedemar playing in that 10 role, she'll be detailed to pick her up.
Yeah, I think when Chelsea have not got it, she's always got half an eye on Miedemar, but positionally wise, she's probably one of the best defensive midfielders in the WSL in Europe, I would say, but quite a lot of the stuff that she does, Ingle, it's not noticed. She just knows where to be at what point, and it just protects the back three of Chelsea.
Terrific player for club and country. Started the last 4 now for Chelsea, as Sophie Ingle. We started the final in December. She was runners-up back in 2012 against Birmingham when they lost on penalties. Second spell, of course, at Chelsea. It's away by McCabe. Here's Little. McCabe on the burst now. Miedemar. And Mead. In the middle looks for Blackstenius. Now England. Here's Balti. Miedemar. Just deflected away, and there is Ingle to pick up the pieces.
That's what Arsenal need to be aware of. As soon as Chelsea win the ball back, the first thought is, can they play forward? It's always a run of the likes of Sam Kerr, who gets in clever positions in the channels.
Cuthbert, strong challenge with Kathleen Ford. What do you make of that? They've had to come back, you know, Jess Fleming's had to come back from Canadian duty. They played a couple of friendlies against Nigeria at this time. I'll come to you on that in a moment, because this is a good run from Blackstenius. She can pull it back to Miedemar, and it should have been 1-0 to Arsenal. They really should have taken advantage of that. She was allowed to run freely into the penalty area and create. Strong run. And a chance again now for her. Miedemar to the left. England not strong enough in the challenge there with Leah Balti.
Good press by Arsenal. Chelsea can't get the ball out. They're not connecting any passes up from the back three, and it's just the high energy of the way Arsenal want to play. But Blackstenius there, that was a massive opportunity to get Arsenal in front.
Yeah, what about that playing international friendly so close to this?
Well, I mean, it will probably end up deciding this game, and this game is that big and that competitive. It shouldn't be that. You know, that they haven't had many training sessions, both teams. You know, the players are probably weary from travelling, and you know, in terms of putting this massive game on today, straight after the international break, it's difficult. It makes it about other factors. Who the winners will be, I would suspect.
Ruben Boyd. And then to Ethne, she couldn't keep the ball in play. This is the opportunity here, look. Just in play.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether she thought, Blackstenius, that she was going to be called out, that the ball went out, but it was as if she just indecisive.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you on that one, certainly. She didn't look fully committed, did she, to the attack when she was free in the box. There's Minnie Bright. And Charles will take the throw. She was on the bench for England in the recent internationals and in the cup final in December. Minnie Bright's not missed a minute of this cup run on 3 occasions. Runners up on another. Started as a striker back in the day. And to the rise from Emma Hayes for Cuthbert.
Yeah, Emma Hayes may be a little bit disappointed with the way that the team are just not connecting passes out from the back, and when they have looked a threat as usual in transition where it's the longer ball. And I'm watching Gura Wrighton on this left-hand side. She's cheating, and by that I mean that she's just not going back and protecting the defence as much. She's waiting for that out ball so that she's free.
Well, she's been free here if they can work it out to her. G waiting to pass it wide to the Norwegian, gets it here now. They'll chip back into the middle. Seen off by the New England captain, Williamson. Chip to the far post, looking for Kerr. He did rise above Steph Catley, and it's comfortable for Zinsberger.
Well, that's where the space is, because Arsenal have to defend quite narrow when they do get it. That out ball, that switch to right and on this left-hand side, she's always available. So it's a good run by G. In the end, as the ball comes in, it's well defended by Arsenal.
The runner starts this season is Skira Wrighton, almost double the number she had last season. Chipped up to Kerr, Umbo, to Ruben Moy, and Valti. Catley. In the corner for Blackstenius. Many Arsenal players on international duty, got a couple for Sweden against Georgia, big 15-0 victory. They're through to the World Cup finals. With Ireland 1-1.
She dropped deep then as well, Jonathan, and it just drags the back three where they don't want to be of Chelsea.
Got out by Ingle, playing that role well. Cuthbert looks to set Kerr away. Couldn't bring the ball down. It was awkward for her, to be fair.
Well, we know all about Sam Kerr. She has probably absolutely everything as a striker, and just how she manages to peel away in between the two Arsenal centre-backs. It wasn't quite a perfect enough ball, but she's a threat. She's a threat when Chelsea win it back.
19 goals in the last 20 games. 3 for Australia in the international break. Another 3, 59 for them. I mean, her figures are fantastic. So look for Ford. A bit of a bump on the tip of the head there, I think. Now Carter. Really steady this season, Jess Carter. She started the last 7. She started the cup final. Might have with a little touch and flicks with Beth Ingle. Ruben Moy. And Zinsberger. As tight as we thought it would be.
Yeah, momentum shifts really quickly, doesn't it, in a game? And they've had some opportunities, Arsenal, to score, and they haven't in those particular big moments.
Really got Kim Little in the game yet. She can be such a game changer, game breaker. Deeper role, of course, alongside Valti.
I think what you've found, Jonathan, is that as soon as each team gets it, they look a little bit longer to start with, to see whether they can stretch each other's defences.
It's a lovely ball out to Skira Wrighton. But that wasn't a pleasant pass, and Mead was blocked off by Carter. She feels Carter, for me, turned the right way. Judge the run. For me, Lucy, there's nothing wrong with that defending.
Yeah, I mean, she's a strong defender. I would say the old cliche, you've seen them given, but Beth Mead trying to get past Jess Carter just puts the body in the way.
Norwood, Dutch international away. Here's Chi. Tidy in possession. What about Jess Carter for you this season? I know you've been a long time admirer of her.
Yeah, I think she's been unlucky that she hasn't had more game time since she's been at Chelsea. I mean, there was times where she hardly played at all, and we've seen her at Birmingham, and you know, she was head and shoulders at Birmingham as a really young player, but I'm really pleased that she's getting a lot of games now, lots of minutes, and she's looking a really strong player.
In the cup final for Birmingham against Manchester City 5 years ago. Here's Miedema with the shot from range. That's the closest we've come so far.
Tell you what, short backlift with Miedema, doesn't need that much space. Got some real power in that as well. It's the first real opportunity we've seen from her, and I think it looks like she prefers that sort of a roaming role she's quite strict when they're out of possession. She does a lot of running, a lot more pressing than she used to do, but then she just comes alive in transition, and see there that the power that she's got in a strike.
Seen two of the greatest goal scorers in women's football here ever, I would say, in Vivianne Miedema. 335 goals for her in her career, and Sam Kerr, who's been top scorer in the history of Australian football, USA club football, and of course has rattled in 55 goals already for Chelsea. 213 goals for her in her career. Terrific players. We're fortunate to see them, I think, in this country, in the WSL, which is, of course, grown in leaps and bounds. And these two teams separated by a whisker at the top.
Yeah, I heard Emma Hayes talking before the game about it being the most competitive league, and because of players like Sam Kerr, that the players that Chelsea and Arsenal have been able to bring in from overseas to bolster what they already have from homegrown players.
Moment, Arsenal point behind Chelsea, 4 matches running, 4 matches to go in the WSL. This for a place against Manchester City at Wembley in the 2022 Cup final. Manchester City worthy winners yesterday at West Ham United. Here's Emma Hayes. Really bright. Don't forget, Emma Hayes was at Arsenal. She was coach at the academy. And, she was head of the academy for a couple of years. She won 11 trophies with them. Sellout crowd. Enthusiastic, lots of youngsters come and watch WSL football all the way through the first half. To be fair, Lucy, they're all youngsters to me looking out there.
I didn't want to say
even the older ones.
Even me. That's saying something.
That's great to see, though. The other side of I was saying, a game like this deserves perhaps an arena where they could get a better crowd. That's not a great clearance. Cuthbert and right in with the cross straight down the throat to Manuela Zinsberger. Should the FA Cup semi-finals in the women's game be played on neutral grounds?
Well, probably neutral. They used to be. I played in one on a neutral ground, but I think as far as Arsenal are concerned, this is such a strong place for them to play their football, their home ground. So anywhere else, just to get a bigger crowd in, I think will probably take away how they are favourites when they are at the home ground.
Kerr with a touch on, looking for Wrighton. Challenged by Leah Williamson. Named as England captain.
Yeah, I mean, watched her play for years. She's such a composed footballer, but I think mostly she's a good character. You know, she's a strong character, and she has always had those leadership qualities. So it's and I can see why Sarina Wiegman did it, because Steph Houghton may not be fit for the Euros, and it just gives a bit of stability going in, just in case Steph's not fit enough to get there.
Successive England managers have always said to me, she's such a technically gifted player, Leah Williamson. We've seen her play in midfield, haven't we? And acquitted herself well there. She comes to close on Beth England.
I think she's effective because she is like a ball-playing midfielder playing at centre-back, and a lot of their play comes from her.
Cuthbert pressed up on Little. Here's England. Goes for goal. Wobbled a little bit in the air, but a comfortable save.
Yeah, I bet she was surprised, Beth England, by the space afforded her as she ran. And she gained ground on Arsenal's box, just allowing her to. It has to be something special to beat Zinsberger from there.
Foul, Bethany from Carter. Chelsea can't let her start to dominate the game, that's for sure. 4 in the last 5 games. Still look to Miedema, she's offside. Decent movement. Went a fraction too early for the assistant.
It's actually a deep run. She probably started the run a little bit too early, or maybe needed the ball earlier, but it was a deep enough run to see it. And that's a problem, just for, not necessarily on set pieces, but in open play as well for Chelsea, just whoever's going to track her.
Williamson back to the goalkeeper. The assistants today, Kerry Williams and Lucy-Anne Briggs, by the way. Big day for them. Here's Mead. Forward by McCabe. And Ingle gives chase. Pressurised by Miedema. If you are new to women's football, then it has, as we've just been saying, leapt forward over the last 7-8 years since I've been involved in commentary on it. It's 10 years now, actually. Time flies. You see very little dissent. I've mentioned it many times in commentary. You see very little players diving, but it is a feature of the game. You see very little dissent.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, particularly between these two teams, it's fiercely competitive. It's not particularly bubbled or boiled over just yet, but I'm sure we'll see it throughout the 90 minutes, but not really that much moaning and complaining going on.
Okay, Irish International with the throw. And away then by Carter. Not a great touch by Kim Little. I think she'd be a bit disappointed with her start to the game. She hasn't been able to impact on it. The Arsenal captain has such a great record in this competition.
Yeah, she doesn't see the ball as much in games versus Chelsea, simply because of the transitional play and the longer balls that are played when Chelsea win it back. But they just need to get her more involved, her and Velti more involved in that middle. Arsenal on the build-up, but just trying out to be a little bit more direct on the width.
Just having a conversation there with Katie McCabe. The one surprise for us that she was on the right-hand side for Arsenal today at the back, but here's Blackstenius, chased by Nouwen. And finds Mead. Had to stretch for it. Miedema. Catley on the outside. Got there, but couldn't get beyond Niamh Charles. She looks for Kerr. Isolated with Ruben Moy. Miedema comes back. It's a feature of her play, now operating deeper, that she will work like that. And a free kick conceded by Cuthbert.
We've seen Chelsea defend well at the edge of their box, and then within 2 passes they're right on the edge of Arsenal's box, and I think that's obviously something that they're looking at, and get Cuthbert up and beyond.
Their first game in this season's run started the 2021 final in December, and so with the 2018 Cup final win. A couple of big goals against Arsenal in the past, including one here this season. As I say, at Arsenal this season. Zinsberger. Williamson. Velta put in possession. Oh, but unfairly by G. Free kick to Arsenal.
I see anything really creative coming from G, but she will still do that work, as they all do, these Chelsea players, out of possession.
Little being pursued by Ingle. And McCabe. It's a fine looking pass initially out to forward, but Chelsea got it away. Now Ingle to Cuthbert. Nearly half an hour played, no goals in the second of the FA Cup semi-finals of 2022.
Yeah, these teams are so evenly matched, know each other so well. It's difficult to just get that edge, and I think centrally there's a lot of players centrally, so it's difficult for either team to play through. So that sort of ball wide has got the most joy for both.
It's a throw to Arsenal. So Cutley down. Hayes trying to win the cup again for Chelsea next Sunday. The next WSL game is away at Tottenham, and that won't be easy because Tottenham are hugely improved this season. Live on BBC One at 2:50. At the moment, the top three are suddenly finding other teams are ready to challenge. Manchester United have had a fine season. That's a block. The referee says go on. She could have stopped it and given possession back to Chelsea, but they had it anyway.
Great touch.
Here's Chi. Now Bright looks for Kerr. She's got in behind. The ball floated on. Adventurous ball by Millie Bright. She has that in her locker, Millie Bright. These shotgun type quarterback passes from the back.
Yeah, no real pressure on the ball, just Arsenal had to drop deeper and deeper, just stop that space behind. And well, as in the end, the goalkeeper.
One-two by the referee here.
I didn't really.
There you are, have it back. She just lent the ball to her there.
At least she didn't fall over.
Touch on by Mead. Cave came to win it. She's a industrious player, she's a feisty player. Kilnamanagh in the Republic of Ireland.
It's interesting, Jonathan, where she's playing, KTBK. We usually see her bombing up that left-hand side and having an effect in the final third, but the job that she's doing today is down this right-hand side, just trying to stop that progression from Chelsea on their left.
To do a job on Wrighton, but it's negating the effect she might have had attacking-wise. Katie McCabe, we've often seen her play further forward on as a left-side forward. Lovely day, it's been a beautiful Easter. There's a breath of breeze in the ground, but not much. McCabe looks for Mead, blocked by Carter and away. Also looking to reach a record 18th FA Cup final, the last success 2016 when Dan Carter scored a memorable winner against Chelsea. From Moy. Getting a little pressure on the ball. And a bit fortunate to get away from Cuthbert's challenge. Catley looks for forward.
Other than the initial minutes of the half, they've not really got forward involved as much as I thought they would. Arsenal down that left-hand side, and they got a bit of joy, didn't they, in the opening minutes? Probably should have scored.
Likely to be replaced in the second half by Tobin Heath. You would have thought he will use all his substitutes. It's a strong bench, both benches are very strong. Jordan Nobbs expected to play a role. Nikita Paris, Rana Iwabuchi perhaps.
Yeah, both of these clubs have got really deep squads full of talent, and Jonas Eidevall always talks about the 11 that finish, knowing that he's got that quality to bring on and just change little bits about what he wants to do, particularly in a game like this. Is obviously going to be tight all the way through.
Jordan Nobbs will be itching to get on, that's for sure. Such a competitive player, such a good player. And he's had to be patient this season at times. The squad is so strong. It's this infectious desire for the game, Jordan. It goes through the team. It's Carter. Wubben-Moy came short to get that, but Cuthbert was there, and Wubben-Moy now might be out of position. She needs cover back there. She's trying to get back as quickly as she can. Here's G, now she's back in the middle to Mark England. Wrighton. Here's G. Sophie Ingle from range. Williamson with the header away. It's that England game against North Macedonia, didn't she, for concussion protocol, but she got a head in the way there.
I've seen Sophie Ingle score a couple of goals from that sort of range as well. Some power behind it.
Ten minutes to go. Game of very few chances. In fact, I can't remember Anne Katrin-Berger having a shot to save.
I think it's such an important game for both teams to get themselves through to the Wembley final that you don't want to really give an inch, and maybe the game will open up in the second half as the managers suss each other out and make those changes.
Has to be decided today, of course. Extra time and penalties. Here's Bright, G. Now Cuthbert. Wrighton. And Ingle. Either the manager will want it done and dusted without extra time, that's for sure, with the big games to come. Wrighton, a big high loop. Glanced away really by Catley. Need Charles with the effort. Has scored in the cup this season against Birmingham. Not a regular scorer.
Yeah, the energy that you need to do what Emma Hayes asks of you on that right-hand side. Can get herself in front of goal, but both teams have restricted each other to shots like that, or crosses into the box, and be defended well.
Miedemar. Crash ball looking for forward. It's a good ball as well if she can keep it in play. Stenius is in the middle, joined by me. Miedemar now coming to the edge of the penalty area as well. Catley. Australians looking to combine over there for Arsenal. Need Charles did well, and Minnie Bright gives it the big heave-ho, heave-ho.
That's a good ball initially from Miedemar, but they've been engaged straight away. Arsenal not really getting a ball into the box, which caused problems for the Chelsea backline.
Miedemar. Angled it back to a goalkeeper who can open up the angle then to Williamson. Risk a square ball to Leah Williamson because Sam Kerr was there. Ginny Flaherty with a square ball across the West Ham box yesterday, undoing of them perhaps against Manchester City. And if any player didn't deserve that, it was Chile. Been a terrific player over the years.
So for both of these as well.
Yeah. And played very well for both of them.
They did. Interesting there, Arsenal just dragging Chelsea into the press and then just didn't make the most of it as the 4 or 5 Chelsea players engaging them and pressing high.
6 minutes to go in the first half. Crossed by Niamh Charles, spreads play, switches it to Wrighton. Couldn't control it. Had a quiet first half, Guro Wrighton.
That's the ball though, Jonathan. Guro Wrighton is not really shifting from that position on the left-hand side when Chelsea win it back, but Katie McCabe is fronting her up as soon as she can. Not like her, a touch like that.
Chelsea supporters here in numbers. They're away to the right-hand side of your pictures behind their goalkeeper. Really bright with the header out.
The story of these two teams and the games between them have usually one of them makes a tactical switch which takes the other by surprise and they win, and then
Ball, that's a crossfield ball looking for me, might yet come for the goalkeeper, was a wee bit hesitant there, and Katrin Berger. Little into the middle, Carter with the block and gets it away from me. Throw into Arsenal.
She's always a threat, isn't she, Beth Mead? That longer ball on the right-hand side, she puts defenders under pressure. Goalkeeper thought twice about it. Really can't just get a perfect effort on goal.
Comes the throw, looking for Williamson in there and Blackstenius. Such talent on the field of play, and strength off it as well. Pernilla Harder only on the bench for Chelsea today. Coach Emma Hayes was explaining she has been out for a while recently. She is some player to have available, have an impact on this game.
I think that's one of the strengths of Emma Hayes, is how she keeps all these players happy, because nobody's ever happy sitting on the bench, whether they've travelled for international duty or whatever it is. Pernilla Harder is probably having one of her best seasons, really settled into this Chelsea squad, but she'll be itching to get on.
As she was in the cup final in December. 3 goals against Arsenal in the past, as Pernilla Harder. Oh, I thought that was a foul on Miedema by Cuthbert. The referee says no. Here's Little to cut it out. No Catley. Ruben Moy, certainly a contender for England's summer squad in the Europeans.
It's a little bit forced from Ruben Moy, because Chelsea had dropped deeper and deeper in that space in behind, so there's no real way to put the ball longer. Well, they needed it to go into midfield to Kim Little, who's not really seen a short ball into her much.
Kerr looks for G. Wrighton awaits. Katie McCabe, scoring the Irish draw in Sweden recently. It's 4-3 for her country, does Katie McCabe. Very rarely misses a game for Arsenal. She's only missed 2 of the last 65.
I do prefer her further up the pitch, or as a left back marauding on, but just keeping intact as a back four at the moment, Arsenal.
Wrighton, Carter. Wienreuter has done well at right back this season. Maritz has done well at right back this season. Wienreuter and Maritz both on the bench.
So that tells you it's a tactical decision, having a left footer there.
Both managers tried to play the mind games beforehand. Chelsea warmed up their centre-back 3 and the wing-backs in a passing routine for a good 10 minutes, but the left wing-back wasn't right in that passing routine. It was Jonna Anderson. I don't think... Well, we weren't fooled, were we? I'm pretty sure Jonna Seidevall wouldn't have been.
A little bit of needle, I think, or a healthy respect between the two managers. Definitely.
Which is good, isn't it?
I think so.
Angle up towards England. Kerr was behind Williamson, who was strong enough and composed enough. And takes it back and gets it away. In the end, it was perhaps a little bit too much at the back. And they got away with it. Now Miedema, and Catlin wants it again. That's a poor ball. That's a really poor pass. Cuthbert now for Chelsea. Miedema got back, made the challenge, and it was fair. Got out of jail there. It's a foul to Arsenal. Charles on the back of Catlin Ford, but suddenly Erin Cuthbert was presented with the ball, and Miedemar's recovery challenge will earn her top marks from her manager.
Yeah, she's doing so much more work out of possession.
That's a poor ball from Williamson. England nearly profit. Turned it to Sam Kerr and Williamson got it away. Arsenal making mistakes late on in the half. 2 minutes of stoppage time. Charles, G, crossing the middle, glanced away by Ruben Moy. The late first half pressure is on the Arsenal goal.
Just losing concentration. Arsenal at the back. They've done well, that back four, but as soon as you give the ball away to these Chelsea players, they're right on top of you and they get in front of goal. And lucky really that Arsenal that Chelsea didn't punish them.
6 wins on the spin for Chelsea since they lost the League Cup final against Manchester City on March the 5th. They're a team that can be merciless. Undefeated in 15 for them. Cuthbert will take the corner. Kerr coming in from the far side, it's eluded them all.
There hasn't been that many set pieces, but neither team have really taken advantage of that opportunity. They've actually got Arsenal in a good position there, Chelsea, and just wasted that.
Putting on his top, wind is freshening. But it's not a problem for the players. Pitch is great, fantastic. It's a poor free kick out by Ruben Moy. And he's right it into the middle. And Arsenal inviting trouble on themselves at the end of the half. Here's Carter. And again, high hoist looking for G, glanced away. Well, we'll have had the 2 minutes of stoppage time by the time this is taken. The referee is adding a little bit extra on the last attack of the half.
Unnecessarily putting pressure on themselves. Arsenal, some of the decision making with the passing has been poor the last couple of minutes.
Brighton at the near post area, it's beyond her. Kerr was coming to push. There's a push that brings the half to an end. 0-0. Lucy, your overall thoughts?
Well, it's probably as tight as we thought it was going to be. I think Arsenal started brightly, but Chelsea came back into it. But you would suspect it's just going to be something extra special that wins this game.
Sam Kerr hasn't had a sniff of a chance. At the other end, Dan Katzenberger hasn't had a save to make. And Emma Hayes may well change things for the second half. It's going to be an intriguing tactical battle for both managers, as it is an intriguing battle on the field of play in this second Vitality Women's FA Cup semi-final of the year. At half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Chelsea 0.
Yes, you can have them.
Yeah, so still goalless here then at Boreham Wood. Vivianne Miedema's wondering how she hasn't scored that one. And the players will definitely be trying to hatch a plan for the second half because there is still all to play for.
It's been a little bit flat at times, but it's also had moments of quality right at the end there. I thought that Chelsea could have carved themselves an opening. Just a little bit of lack of quality, but they've been pretty toothless up top for me of Chelsea.
Yeah, but Arsenal have been the ones with all the chances, haven't they? Particularly sort of gilt-edged chances that you would have expected, particularly in front of this home crowd, particularly in a game of this magnitude, that they probably should have taken.
Yeah, definitely. Look, Arsenal started a better team. They found the weakness in the Chelsea back line, which was in the wide areas, and they had some chances really early on, but they didn't punish this Chelsea team. And what's happened as the game's gone on, well, the half's gone on, Chelsea found their way back into the game. Arsenal have started to make mistakes late on in the half, and Chelsea have had a couple of chances towards the end of the half.
Yeah, and that is always the danger, isn't it, if you don't take advantage of those chances. Let's take a look at some of the Arsenal opportunities. There were some good ones, weren't there?
There were some really good chances. They were early on, and it come down the flanks for Arsenal. This one was a more direct one, and a run from Beth Mead in behind. The time they run to perfection. Does really well in the box with their feet, really quick feet, and look, the recovery from Millie Bright was exceptional. Again, it's down in the wide areas here, and it's just the defending from Chelsea is very unlike this Chelsea team. I think the pass should have been released earlier there into Miedema to give themselves a better chance, but Jess Carter's able to clear it.
There's a bit of indecision, wasn't it, from Blackstenius? Maybe was she doubting whether she kept the ball in, whether it was going to carry on, but they really should have picked out that pass to Miedema, and it had been an easy finish. arguably the best chance here. Miedema gives herself a couple of yards of space. Chelsea don't get tight. She doesn't hit the mark.
Yeah, for me, Miedema's been a little bit too deep in the Arsenal midfield. I'd like to see Miedema a little bit higher. We saw her there getting higher. And when she's higher in this Arsenal team, they tend to create more chances. A fantastic opportunity for her to score there. But I'd like to see her higher and more involved in the game.
Yeah, she has been trying to get more involved in the game. But again, we're talking about the Chelsea chances. They did grow into the game, Rachel. But they've been half chances, haven't they, really?
They have. Arsenal really limited Chelsea to nothing. Other than, as you said, kind of speculative 50-50 chances. I think G has been impressive. Guro Wrighton playing that ball across again. Nothing really on this. Hangs it up towards the back post, and Sam Kerr's brilliant in the air, but even for Sam Kerr's standards, that wasn't one that was a clear-cut chance. Looping ball this time to the back, and Niamh Charles just here gets herself the ball just stuck under her feet and scuffs that chance. So I think I put it down to Arsenal's defending has been pretty good, but Chelsea, the two up top, Beth England and Sam Kerr, are just not working together.
I feel like they're missing either a Frank Kirby or a Harder in this Chelsea team. I think in transition, they're turning over the ball a lot, Arsenal. And what Chelsea's problem is in that transition, you haven't got somebody in the pocket to then link the back to front. And that's the Harders and the Frank Kirbys of this Chelsea team that for so long in this Chelsea team have done so well. So they're missing that. They need to get G a little bit higher because she's the player that can do that. Or we'll see a change at half-time or maybe a little bit later in the game where Harder will come into the game.
Yeah, we've seen her warming up on the sidelines. You expect that Emma Hayes will probably be turning to her.
Absolutely. She's come back from international duty, so she's a bit fatigued or, not ready to start the match. But I expect her to come on because Beth England and Sam Kerr is just not working.
What do you think Jonas Eidevall's going to do in the second half?
I think they need to use the wide areas a lot more than what they have. They started really well. They got the wide players on the ball quite often, and Chelsea are playing a narrow back three. They're trying to get their wing backs high and aggressive in the press. So the wide areas in Beth Mead is the ones where they're going to get their chances from. I think they haven't used it enough. I think at half-time you mentioned, look, can we get the switches on, get the ball into wide areas and really cause the Chelsea backline a problem?
And that is the key, isn't it, really?
Pernille Harder's ready. She's getting... I expect her to come on in this second half. She'll provide kind of a more off-the-cuff movement, pick the ball up and drive. She'll be given more of a free rein across of that front three. It's been quite static. There's not been a lot of movement, not synchronised movement between Sam Kerr and Beth England. I think pretty much her tank will be half full, but that will be enough to come on and make an impact in that second half.
Yeah, and you give Pernille Harder a bit of freedom, and that's when she's at her best, isn't it?
Give her a yard or two and it's beep, beep, it's gone. Yeah, absolutely. So I would expect changes from both teams, not imminently at half-time, but second half, it needs to be kind of freshened up, it needs to be changed, and dynamite substitutions such as Harder is an obvious one.
I feel like knowing Emma Hayes, she might not make a change at half-time. What she might do is have some adjustments in her tactics. I think tactically they've got it wrong in the first half. They're too exposed, as I mentioned, down the flanks. I think they're either flatten one of the wing-backs off to create a back four and build in a back four, or they're going to go with a back five. But they're certainly going to change something, and they have to get something right. And I think it'd be a more tactical change from Emma Hayes at half-time.
There's not a lot of zip on the passes across that back line. If you've got the openings came about when they moved the ball quickly, and Arsenal just at the back did not move the ball crisply enough to create those openings, to get Kim Little, who gets in between the defence and the midfield. She can get on the ball, but you've got to zip it quickly.
Yeah. OK, well, the crowd are expectant here, and there is a lot of them. It's a near sellout here. 3,500 fans, I'm told, here at Boreham Wood today, and you wouldn't want to see anything else for an FA Cup semi-final of the magnitude of this game as well. Absolutely fantastic. The sprinklers are out now. The Chelsea team are warming, the subs are warming up, the Arsenal subs are warming up, and as the girls have said, we expect to see some sort of changes in that second half. OK, well, yesterday was the first of those semi-finals. It took place at West Ham Stadium. They faced Manchester City. In case you missed it, here is the best of the action. Your commentators were Scott Booth and Robin Cowan.
Good afternoon, everyone. The first semi-final of the Women's FA Cup. Will it be West Ham or Manchester City who book their place at Wembley? Kelly gets the cross in. Oh, it's a thunderous shot off the bar and surely in. City lead, and it's Ellen White Another poacher's finish for Manchester City centre forward. And after all West Ham's good work, it is Manchester City who lead in this semi-final. Oh, that's a poor pass. It's Kelly, it's 2-0, an absolute gift. An emotional moment for Chloe Kelly, who scores her first goal in nearly a year, recovering from that horrific knee injury, but she was never going to miss from there, and a horrible moment for Gilly Flaherty. Oh, here's Lisa Evans around the keeper. Lisa Evans with a crucial goal for West Ham United. No more than they deserve.
Well, that was a brilliant goal. Just the composure from Lisa Evans. She takes the ball across the edge of the box, just that touch inside. That's a lovely ball.
Leon, intelligent play. Evans slips it through for Yallop. Off balance wide.
Well, that's the incisive quality that West Ham need.
Hemp robs Parker. It's Hemp! And it's 3. And in the blink of an eye, Lauren Hemp punishes West Ham and restores the 2-goal cushion with a clinical finish. A milestone strike for Lauren Hemp, her 50th club career goal. Stanway, Hemp wants it. And here is Lauren Hemp. And it's another lovely flowing counter-attack from Manchester City. And the scoreline much healthier, heading to Wembley in style.
So it is Manchester City who are the first finalists for next month's final, isn't it? 15th of May at Wembley. You were there yesterday, Farah. The 4-1 scoreline, it looks pretty comfortable, but in reality, it was anything but.
Yeah, no, definitely it wasn't. Look, West Ham gave a great account of themselves. I think, they certainly took the game to this Manchester City team, but what you can't do when you're playing against the very best teams in the country is make mistakes, and West Ham gifted this Manchester City team 3 goals, and then the game was put to bed from City.
Yeah, and really lovely story here. Chloe Kelly scoring on her return. She's been out with after an ACL injury for 11 months. Now, do you know what? I really hate that phrase of you can see what it means to them in the celebrations. But when you look at Chloe Kelly, you can really see what it means to her, can't you?
11 months is a long time, and Manchester City will have been desperate to get her back on the pitch. She was in scintillating form for England as well as a club, and was very effective, with Lauren Hemp down the left and Chloe Kelly down the right. So it's brilliant to have her back, and I'm sure she'll feature in Serena Wiegmann's plans in the summer.
Yeah, we hope so. OK, we're going to head a little bit further along pitch side now. We're going to join the 2 Kellys, Kelly Summers, who is with Kelly Simmons.
I am indeed, Reshmin. Yes, thank you. The FA's director of the women's professional game, Kelly Simmons, joins me now. Kelly, what a day here at Boreham Wood. A sellout crowd for FA Cup semi-final weekend. The sun's out. This is brilliant, isn't it?
It's really fantastic. Great atmosphere. Such a tight game. Can't possibly call who's going to get through. But, of course, place at Wembley Stadium for the final. Manchester City awaits. Whoever gets here today, it's going to be a great, great final. Manchester City's form, they're just improved all the way through the season, haven't they? So it's going to be a terrific final, but yeah, great to see a sellout crowd today.
What a weekend for the FA Cup in general, with the men's FA Cup at Wembley Stadium this weekend as well. It's been a really good weekend for the tournament, would you say?
It's been fantastic, yeah, and I think, listening, driving in today on the radio, all talking about the semi-finals, the women's and the men's, and I think having it on the same weekend's definitely helped raise the profile. And of course, we've got the cup final weekend, the men's and the women's at Wembley to look forward to in one weekend. So yeah, great for the women's game.
You've also recently announced that the FA Cup prize money is going to increase tenfold next year, £300,000 to £3 million. What will that do for the women's game?
Well, I think we've already said, that we want that money to go right through the women's pyramid, so it really support clubs all the way through from, the Women's National League through to the Women's Championship, all the way to the Women's Super League. So everyone will benefit, and I think it will help clubs to be able to invest and develop their club, and it'll make a big, big difference for the whole of the women's game.
Well, Kelly, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the second half. Kelly has got one of the best seats in the house alongside the England boss, Serena Wiegmann.
That's not bad at all, is it? Thank you very much, Kelly Summers and Kelly Simmons. Now, as always, we have plenty of live sport across the BBC, but if you're a rugby fan, you'll certainly be looking forward to this.
We are England.
They want to finish in style.
We are Ireland.
Steve Higgins is off and she's gone.
And we are together. We are rugby. We are Six Nations.
England versus Ireland, live next Sunday at 11:45 on BBC Two and iPlayer.
Yeah, great stuff with the rugby there. You can also watch highlights from the Premier League's midweek games on Match of the Day. That's on Wednesday at 10:40 on BBC One. Over on BBC Sounds, you can listen to Jill Scott's Coffee Club for an intimate glimpse into the women's game with the England legend. 5 Live Sports' Ben Haynes and special guests will also join Jill. Next Sunday, we are back with the WSL. Tottenham face Chelsea at the Hive. Our live coverage on BBC One starts from 2:15. And before we head back to the second half of Arsenal against Chelsea, here's a recap of the first.
Good afternoon, everybody. The rivalry is at its fiercest right now. Into the face of Bethany England. She's gone down. Shot from range. Here's England. Goes for goal.
Both teams have restricted each other to shots like that.
Well, we're about to get into the second half, and you guys called it. You predicted it. I think Pernille Harder is going to be joining the proceedings very, very soon.
I think, yeah, it would just add to, as I said, I think Emma Hayes would make a tactical change at the half, whether that be with a player coming in or, you know, with the personnel that she had on the pitch. I think she might give it a few minutes before she does that and see if the players that had started the first half can make those changes first. But I'm sure at some point we'll see Harder come into the game, and look, she's a key player for this Chelsea team.
And for Chelsea, they need to start on the front foot, don't they, with the second half, not like they did in the first.
Yeah, because they pinned Chelsea back on most of the occasions. Chelsea didn't have too much up top. As we mentioned, we expect that change to be made. The free-running Pernille Harder will strike fear into the back line of Arsenal.
Yeah, indeed she will. And, you know, the home crowd, as we said, they are very, very expectant here. You'd think that Arsenal had a little bit of an advantage with that, but who knows in a game of this magnitude, who out of Arsenal or Chelsea are going to join Manchester City in that Women's FA Cup final on the 15th of May at Wembley. Let's find out what happens in the next 45 minutes. We'll rejoin our commentary team, the former Leeds forward, Lucy Ward, who is alongside Jonathan Pearce.
Thank you very much again. Now it's intriguing here. The first thing Jonas Eidevall would have seen as his Arsenal came out for the second half is Magdalena Eriksson and Pernille Harder with their training tops off, the bibs off, stripped and ready to play as second half substitutes. They then sat, she's got to put a bib on, by the way, she can't sit like that, she'll have to put a bib on. But they sat down immediately, and again a little bit of mind games were being played. So no changes at half-time as Arsenal kick us off and underway in the second period, kicking them from right to left and looking immediately for Caitlin Foord. Long looking for Foord again. It was interesting to see those little mind games being played.
Yeah, all the way through the day, really, and I just think it shows how big a game this is. Going to Wembley, there's only Manchester City sat in the comfortable seats this afternoon. Certainly Jonas Eidevall, Emma Hayes aren't, but it's interesting. I just think that, listen to what the girls said at half-time, I think both teams need to mix the game up a little bit better. You know, that the longer ball is not necessarily working for Chelsea. They need that link player. And Kim Little and Leah Valtier are so clever on the ball that they just need to have more of it. I sense, though, Jonathan, that Chelsea probably looked at the way that Arsenal were playing out. I think they could probably press them a little bit higher because they kept getting the ball away the last 5 minutes of the first half.
Was it also a message from Emma Hayes to one or two of her players when they came out to see that Harder and Eriksson were getting ready to come on?
Yeah, it's a nice luxury for a manager to stand on the touchline and look back at the bench and see the faces that they've got, both these two teams. And you've got to be playing well. If you got the shirt, you've got to be playing well. If you don't, any of those could take it.
That's some bench, isn't it? I see Fleming there amongst them as well. Gold medal winner with Canada in the summer. They look for England and away by Leah Williamson. Sophie Ingle has hardly missed anything in there. That's a foul by Beth Mead. It's going to get a card. Yellow card's already in the hands of the referee.
Jess Carter, throughout the first half, really kept Beth Mead quiet on the whole. They probably need to think about a different ball of getting Beth Mead in and maybe in behind, because she has got the pace. As Carter has. She came in a bit late there, caught Jess Carter, and cannot complain about a yellow card. What I would say, Jonathan, is that I think these players look a little bit jaded, all of them. And we talked about the international break coming out of onto such a big game, and you know the build-up to this is a lot of pressure emotionally. You know, sometimes that manifests itself physically.
Tottenham will be eager spectators to this because they have to play both of these two sides and will have a say in who wins the WSL title. Here's Mead with a freer run now and looks for Miedema. Mead's continued the run, it's headed away by Millie Bright, a thumping cross as well. She's so steady defensively, Millie Bright. Now Little needs support. Leah Volti is inevitably in support. Comes across from Catley. Mead allowed to turn. Oh, it could have been so decisive that moment. Did everything but score.
I just expected the net to ripple then from this angle. Everybody at the side of us. I mean, she did everything extremely well. The turn was absolutely brilliant. The strike just swung it slightly wide. Katzenberger would have
went for power in there. Should she have placed it?
Yeah, I mean, but you could see she expected it to go in the back of the net. It wasn't a speculative shot. That she knew what she was trying to do, but that is so unlike Beth Mead.
Scored 2 against Chelsea in the league this season, has this great record against them.
I think it shows how close this game is, that's probably the biggest chance of the game so far, and we're in over 49 minutes.
Top 10 scorers, top 8 scorers in WSL history. He's in the top 2 in terms of assists. Now England forces it wide to Kira Wrighton with G to the left-hand side. She's taking it on a strike. Brilliant effort! Brilliant goal! It was always going to take something extraordinary to break the deadlock in this FA Cup semi-final, and you've just seen it.
That's brilliant. Position picked up by Wrighton, but I just think that she just had, from an Arsenal point of view, a lot of time to pick a spot. And we all know about her quality. She spent a lot of the first half in waiting in space, waiting for the ball to come to her. You see, she's picked it up. Nobody closes her down, so she takes a couple of steps forward and basically curls it. It's a terrific effort. Everybody from an Arsenal persuasion. Kim Little got dragged across, looking at the run. Zellweger got absolutely nowhere near it.
Almost a moment there when she takes the extra stride, thinking, hang on a minute, they're not coming to close me.
And from an Arsenal point of view, to give a player like Guro Wrighton and the part of the season that she's having that much space, you're going to be punished.
9 goals for her this season. 3rd in this run. She got a couple at Villa. Arsenal immediately tried to strike back, and that's good defending by Annick Nowen.
Nowen did really well then, and just shows you Beth Mead misses at one end. Chelsea go down the other, and they find themselves 1-0 up. Small margins again, and we talk about that through this game.
Become a big player for them. 15 starts in last 16 games, I think it is now. Arsenal have the corner. Chelsea have the advantage. Referee having a close look on her toes, as is Swooper Moy in the middle. It's played back to Leah Williamson. Gets it around the corner and too much pace on the ball and squirts on through. Remember, it was Beth Mead who squirted it on through.
Yeah, through various pockets of this game, Arsenal have had chances to get themselves in front of goal. Beth Mead, obviously, a couple of minutes ago, that one where she could have put a team 1-0 up, but it's just that final ball decision-making on it that's not quite there.
Arsenal's last domestic defeat was against Manchester United in the League Cup quarter-final on January the 19th. Last time they dropped any league points was at Chelsea in the 0-0 in February the 11th. Arsenal try and hit back with Ford. Now Mead, she's offside.
We've not seen many of those progressive runs from either team really, where a player just carries the ball like Caitlin Ford did then. It opens up, it changes the picture. And that's a tight one, difficult for the assistant referee. But maybe Caitlin Ford, it opened up for her as well, maybe to have a shot.
No VAR, of course. Some of you will find that refreshing. Others of you will say, well, there should be VAR in games like this. Question of costs if you bring it into the women's game. There is more money going into the women's game, as we heard at half-time, with prize money for this competition. Cross looks for Kerr. Comes back out to Cuthbert with a little poke wide.
It's just given Chelsea that shot in the arm, hasn't it, the goal. We did expect that the game would open up in this second half, and now Arsenal have to come out and get that equaliser. We may see some space.
Manager of the year, 3 FA Cups to her name, 4 league titles, a couple of League Cups. Miedema, been Arsenal's best player, I would say. Probably looks for Ford. Wright has been drawn out. Can Arsenal get runners forward into the penalty area? Little's arriving. Blackstenius is in there. Ford holds on to it. By now, look at the number of Chelsea players back in the middle. 7, 8, 7 at least, and it comes to nothing. Too slow.
Yeah, the chance was there, wasn't it, for Ford to get the ball into the box, or even as she was coming across, have a shot. But you have to say that really well shepherded, lastly by Niamh Charles, but initially I think it was Millie Bright. It's good defensive work by Niamh Charles, but I'll give Arsenal a little bit of hope that they can get in those wide areas.
Has the script in store for us here in the final 36 minutes. Maybe we'll have more, maybe we'll have drama. And Elstree Studios just up the road, it's a place for drama, isn't it? Strictly Come Dancing filmed up there.
Big Brother as well, wasn't it? I could see you in there.
Well, I can see you in Strictly, I certainly can't see me in Strictly. And here's Ford. Nothing is going Arsenal's way.
Yeah, a bit of frustration there, Caitlin Ford. She's had a couple of opportunities where she's been able to run with the ball and she's been smothered about by the defenders. Good play by Cuthbert.
2 minutes gone in the second half. Chelsea have the lead, they don't have a grip on the time. Towards Sam Kerr. Benefited from ideal service for her, Sam Kerr, today. Towards Blackstenius. Carter is there. That's a word of warning for Arsenal. Chelsea have kept 5 consecutive clean sheets since they won away at West Ham on March the 10th, 4-1. They need a game changer. Perhaps it'll be Jordan Nobbs.
Yeah, neither team is as fluid as we usually see them, so I suspect that the substitutes and the timing of the substitutes will make a difference for both And we talked about the international duty players with a lot of minutes and travelling in their legs, and when you make those sort of substitutions, and obviously I think Jonas Eidevall will be looking initially, he has to make that first move.
Little to Zinsberger. Goal, the first that Arsenal conceded in the FA Cup this season.
I just think as well, I think Katie McCabe is so wasted where she is at right back. She offers so much more on the left-hand side, whether it's something that they may change. She's obviously doing a job for the team, but she's got so much positivity about her going forward that could cause problems for Chelsea.
Ball bounced off Ruben Moore under pressure from England. Good save, Zinsberger. Sam Kerr was a wee bit annoyed that England didn't feed her, but she had every right to go for it, the Chelsea number 9.
So strong, Beth England. Usually in those individual duels, she'll come off better. Just trying to hold her off, it's so difficult. Didn't get enough power on it, as she'd have probably wanted.
She was running in the channel normally occupied by Sam Kerr, but it was a very good save by Zinsberger. The Austrian international got down very well. Cuthbert, next goal in the game, huge. Miedemar away. Right in that wide to Cuthbert, made sure she was onside. Switches to her right foot. And up and away. It was Blackstenius all the way back there who got the header out. And Miedemar is now the furthest forward Arsenal player. To signal to the goalkeeper, Berger, to get back. To Ruben Moy. Around the corner from Valti. Hard pressed by Cuthbert. Here's Ingle. Cuthbert. Wrighton with the cross all the way through. Catley with an important volley clearance. That's risky from Little. Just about one back.
Yeah, there's more zip to Chelsea's passing, and Arsenal keep giving it away, a little bit flustered. Players you wouldn't expect, the likes of Valti and Kim Little.
Forward foul, play on, and then no advantage gain. Decent game, New Charles, really. She's kept cutting forward quiet.
Yeah, first half they were mostly looking for Beth Mead on that right-hand side. They've done a lot of passes into the feet of Ford, but Niamh Charles has been equal to it.
th meeting in the WSL era. 14 wins for Arsenal, 16 for Chelsea. 8th FA Cup meeting in the period. Chelsea have 5 wins and inching towards a 6th as we inch towards the hour. But this is an opportunity for Arsenal. Little would whip this in right foot. Catley would send it away from goal. And it comes from Little. It's inviting. It's well dealt with by Millie Bright. Absolutely soared there, Millie Bright in the air. Cuthbert looks for Little. That's handball. Lovely header away by Millie Bright. She got up well there.
Yeah, timing's excellent. Those sort of defensive headers, you need that dominant play aerially in that back three, and she's definitely that.
Great example, Millie Bright. You know, she had when she was little, she had pneumonia. She suffered from 1 or 2 illnesses. Terrific player, terrific career. Kerr, terrific striker into the box. Comes out to G. Chance here. Off the bar and in, and that's absolutely vital. And that could send Chelsea to Wembley. On the hour, Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. G thundered it home.
A terrific finish from G. And Arsenal just look at 6s and 7s at the back. Players that you would normally see defending properly. And Chelsea have been ruthless in this second half, pouncing on any mistake. You know when it lands at her feet, G, that she's got the quality to finish from the edge of the area. Terrific strike.
from a magnificent player who hit the first goal in the Wembley Women's FA Cup final in 2015 it was, against Notts. Sat on the bench in December when Chelsea beat Arsenal. It's her second goal in this run, and it was some finish.
Yeah, but defensively, Arsenal will watch this back, and defensively you cannot allow Chelsea to win the ball back where they win it back, and then the likes of G will just punish you, and that's exactly what's happened. I think since the first goal, they've not made good decisions in defensive areas, Arsenal.
Looking for her 7th major trophy as a Chelsea player since joining in 2013. She's had a good run of starts of late, the South Korean international.
It's good play from Chelsea as well. They've been on top of those 2 moments and they've scored goals, and when you score goals at big moments, so difficult to come back from. And you talked about that next goal being so important as well, Jonathan.
Called her just a South Korean international, but she's a top scorer for the Republic of South Korea. As Arsenal prepared to send on a midfield substitute, Frida Marnham. They will replace Lia Walti in there. Here's Lia Walti, who will depart. It's like for like. Lucy, this is no major tactical change here.
No, it's not. I don't think, I mean, Walti's been absolutely brilliant over the last few months, but just didn't look herself today. But Marnham should get herself forward as well. And going and sitting in that defence, she's giving instructions out, just see how they do set up.
2 international in the break for Switzerland, Lia Walti, against Romania and against Italy. Here's G, suspicion of handball against Little. Look, pursued by 4 Chelsea players there. There's more energy in this Chelsea side. And Arsenal are starting to question decisions.
Yeah, that was actually the right decision. It was an Arsenal player that the last touch was well seen by the assistant referee right in front of us.
She doesn't get many wrong, Rebecca Welsh. Chi with the header on unopposed, and England, Wubben-Moy. Now Kerr went over Wubben-Moy. The Chelsea fans are howling for a penalty, don't think it was. That's a foul by Cuthbert though on forward. The Arsenal fans on the right hand side, one of them shouting for a red card, it's a yellow. The position is right next to the fans, great fun actually.
The temperature is definitely rising, shall we say, both on the pitch and off the pitch. And a lot of frustration around us at the moment.
When I say it's great fun, it's because they're nearer you than me.
And there's a fence between us.
Now, Arsenal need something and quick. Catby and forward. He's had very little change out of Niamh Charles, who dug in deep there and was helped by Cuthbert. England, awkward header back to Ingle, forward battling for it. Beth England tenacious. Cuthbert, who's had an important role to play, doubling up with Niamh Charles, who plays out. That's a dummy by Guro Reiten, and G has it. She switches it right to Beth England. Chelsea are in here again. Came to Reiten instead. Tried to bend it in. Decent stop once more from Zinsberger. It's all Chelsea now.
Yeah, they managed to get free on that left-hand side. Katie McCabe was trying to decide whether to come out and win their header, and in the end, she didn't win it. Allowed G to be free. And that's not much power in it, but it just had the accuracy just to bother Zinsberger. And as the game opens up, it just gives Chelsea a chance to, on the counter, in transition. We know how good they are at that.
3 times an Austrian Cup winner with Neumann back. Now chances of winning this FA Cup this season with Arsenal are diminishing. She's kept them in the tie, to be fair. Watch for the movement of Sam Kerr here. In it comes, looking for it. Header was off target.
Well, throughout the first half, this game was absolutely finely balanced, but Chelsea have been patient. not played their best stuff in the first half, but pounced and scored goals at big moments, and I think they'll be quite happy and more comfortable now. Arsenal have to hit back quickly for their own confidence.
Everton away, Villa and Tottenham at home, West Ham away for his team as they try and chase down Chelsea in the WSL. The league leaders have Tottenham Hotspur twice, I think it is, Birmingham away and Manchester United at home. Long by Catley, really bright, that's easy, she can do that all day long. Ingle. Here's Wrighton. Into Ingle. Tactically she's been very important for Chelsea and very impressive, and languidly swung that pass out to Kerr. Here's Cuthbert. Wasn't the best of passes, but there's the energy from Chelsea, there's the commitment as they win it back. And that's a lovely ball in, and Kerr's offside.
That's great energy from Cuthbert to win it back. Arsenal have not quite got that combination that's worked so well in recent months of Blackstenius and Miedemar up front, but it's a good little ball, and she just ventured, both of them had ventured offside. Sam Kerr, she's desperate for a goal.
How joyous it is to see an early assistant referee's flag go up. How welcome. This will be the substitutes for Arsenal. Tobin Heath on the left-hand side, and Nikita Paris will be coming on, attacking options, of course. Neither of whom have had the season they would have hoped. Tobin Heath, most of her games for Arsenal have come from the bench. And here's Kerr with G, just dispossessed by, or rather Catley got across to win it. And trying to keep up this great run of scoring in consecutive games. And that's given away at the back. And the shot by Ingle was blocked. And G fizzes the rebound wide. Arsenal all over the place.
Yeah, some tired legs out there for Arsenal. 2 goals down, and at some stage, I mean, Kim Little is so press resistant, you can't get it off her, but then you've got to get rid at this point. Wubben-Moy, luckily for Arsenal that the keeper is equal to that shot.
A really good game, hasn't she? In that Arsenal goal. Without her, it would have been 5, I think, by now. Desperately tired. Went a little bit further than Chelsea in the Champions League. That is the next hurdle for WSL clubs to win that competition. Neil Williamson in the corner, but not very well by Marner. Ingle there again. Well, Lucy, you have to pick the player of the match, and there's several candidates from Chelsea emerging in this second half.
Yeah, like I say, I think they've been patient. They're starting to get themselves together and punishing Arsenal when Arsenal have made mistakes.
Slipped away from Ford. And here come the substitutes. And Nikita Paris will replace Stina Blackstenius, who's been quiet, hasn't she?
Yeah, I think as a centre forward you rely on the service. I don't think she's really had that.
Tobin Heath comes on. USA double World Cup winner. Replaces Kathleen Ford. Worked hard, just couldn't escape the shackles. Good little touch on. Paris, difficult ball for her to control. Not a bad substitute to bring on. Chelsea bring on Pernille Harder. Sam Kerr's run of goals per game comes to an end.
Well, she's had a long flight, hasn't she? Sam Kerr always works hard. Whether she gets the rewards for that in terms of goals, she probably will be disappointed, but always gives her all for the team. But great replacement from Harder, and she's having some season.
Missed the last 3 through injury. Scored in the cup run against Leicester and Villa. And 11 goals in the last 19 games. Time is tight for Arsenal as Wrighton floats it up for Beth England between the defenders. Ruben Moy got ahead to it. Out by Catley. Looking for Tobin Heath, couldn't find her, and Cuthbert now picks it up. Cross driven and caught very well by Zinsberger. I'm really impressed with her today. Carter thought that was a Chelsea ball.
They've actually defended really well, Chelsea, and they're getting stronger and stronger in those positions, whether it's Jess Carter or Niamh Charles down this right-hand side. Owen and Millie Bright, none of them have had a bad game.
Catley. Miedemar. Catley finds Heath. And back to Catley. Could get the cross in. Miedemar hanging in a deep position in case it came out. Millie Bright ensured it didn't. She's had an outstanding semi-final. Over the top looking for England. Zinsberger timed it well. Niamh Charles with the firm header.
Chelsea just keeping Arsenal at arm's length with that always threat of the ball into space and a willing runner as well. And Beth England or Pernille Harder.
Well, we've had 73 minutes of this FA Cup semi-final, Lucy. In Chelsea, the goalkeeper, Anne Katrin-Berg, has not been tested. Millie Bright, one of Chelsea's outstanding players today. Good performances. Carter, another who's played well, as Lucy was just saying. Right now, a sort of slumbering first half and then exploded into this semi-final with a goal 4 minutes after the restart. It's Catley. Get it wide from Miedemar to Heath, who's to turn the other way. With one fairly. Here's Ingle. Miedemar despairing. I thought it was one fairly, I have to say. Here's Charles.
Chelsea experienced enough to just take the sting out of the game. They don't really need to score a third, they can keep the ball.
With the throw. She wins it back. Cuthbert under pressure. Early on in the game, Emma Hayes had a word with Erin Cuthbert. You might remember it. And she then really closed tightly on the dangerous Arsenal midfield players like Little. Change there for Beth England. Beth Mead, that is a foul.
She's so reliable.
Yeah, she's been booked.
Yeah, she needs to be careful, but she's so reliable, Erin Cuthbert, in terms of where you can play her, probably play her anywhere. Just those sort of challenges, I don't think that's another yellow card, but just needs to be aware.
Bounced unkindly for Tobin Heath. Shrug of the shoulders, a shake of the head. Never played before against Chelsea, by the way, Tobin Heath. Wonderful career she's had. Next Sunday at 2:15 on BBC One. Emma Hayes and Chelsea go to Tottenham in an absolutely massive game. Either of these two teams loses a league game from now on in, that's it, the title's gone. It's harder. England had to stretch. Played out by Williamson, Arsenal through and through, family season ticket holders, I think. And Katrin Berger. Decent border Cuthbert. Can't see them getting back into the
Well,
game.
yeah, Arsenal, I think you saw Beth Mead miss that chance. Chelsea score straight away afterwards, and since then they're huffing and puffing, and Chelsea have just got the dominance where they can play the game how they want to play it, and it's just not quite happening for Arsenal. They look a bit jaded, and when we 2-0 down, you feel even more tired.
G plays long. Emma Hayes would have had her starting lineup in mind before the international break. She'd have known which team she'd have put out, and they'd have trained on that before the international break. Jonas Eidevall presumably would have done the same. You've then got to repair your plans if you get an injury during the break. But
Yeah, managers feel better when they've got more time leading up to a match day, particularly a match day as important as this one, but you come into it just hoping that the team you've picked and the game plan that you've picked is enough to outwit the opponent. That it was always going to be about small margins and whether Arsenal could score at one end with Beth Mead, and that didn't happen, and Chelsea get the noses in front.
Peter Barras tries to bring it down, awkward, she was offside. Has Jonas Eidevall got it wrong today then?
I don't think he's got it. I don't think he's got it wrong, because I think if Arsenal had scored in those opening minutes where they had a chance, or Beth Mead scores that chance, it's closer. It's such fine margins that it just leans in. But now Chelsea are on top. I can't see them letting it go.
The outstanding Ji So-Yun departs, and Jessie Fleming comes on. Started the cup final. She's played in all three cup ties this season. There's this goal settled this semi-final for Chelsea.
G never lets Chelsea down. She probably doesn't get as many minutes as she used to do, but there's not many in the squad that can do what she can do, and right on the spot there to punish Arsenal and their defending. Jessie Fleming, again, fantastic season. And she's took a while to get her minutes in at Chelsea. You know, they signed her and then she hardly played, but she's such a talent.
In July 2020 from college football in the USA with the UCLA Bruins. Scored for Canada in the break against Nigeria. The two friendlies they played against the African nation. Scored in the last Chelsea game as well against Reading. Both teams have the big squads to cope with the demands of Champions League football. They'll have those demands again next season. Top three in the WSL, by the way, go into Champions League. That's why there's such an important tussle for third. Manchester United, outstanding progressive season for them, very much in the mix. Manchester City, of course. Now here's a free kick for Chelsea. Ten minutes between Emma Hayes and another trip to Wembley. Remember that year she was very, very heavily pregnant in a cup final. It was a sweltering day, and I remember being in the commentary box thinking, hope she doesn't get too excited here. In comes the cross and swept away by Lotte Wubben-Moy. I think there was even a doubt that day whether she'd be at Wembley, but such a character, she was never going to miss it, really. There's Little. And Catley. Now Mead. And Heath. Rolling in off the line. To Miedemar, back to goal. Nolan with the block against her compatriot. Little in a quiet semi-final. Heath around the corner, looks for Catley. Fleming defence. Right clears, only as far as Wubben-Moy. Pressurised by Harder, throw to Arsenal. 9 minutes to go. Arsenal fans near us trying to get some enthusiastic atmosphere back into the game. Beth Mead, the difference it would have made had she taken that chance. It's a poor ball from her, and Wrighton was allowed to go through. Little and Meads won it back fair and square. Turning for the error now, Catley, 2 to hit. Heath down the line was one of them. Mead Morrison through the middle. Heath blocked off on the way to the penalty area. Good defending by Niamh Charles. In a very quiet, understated way, Niamh Charles had a very good semi-final.
Yeah, she's been given a job to do, Niamh Charles, and I think, in fact, all that back line have done terrific for Chelsea. And it's about winning the individual duels. For most of the time, it was Caitlin Ford, and then you look up and Tobin Heath's coming on, but that's good positioning, and you've always got your mate Millie Bright coming in to clear.
High throw, poor throw, really, for Tobin Heath to do anything with. It's a foul. Little on Cuthbert.
Today's official attendance is a sad crowd of 3,458. Thank you all so very much for your loyal support.
Not quite a full house. 3,400 odd. Not far short. Good show. Enough fans for both clubs to play in a bigger ground than this, but as we were saying, Arsenal, under the current regulations, we're never going to want to surrender home advantage. And one of the biggest Arsenal fans of them all watches on. It's a foul. Catley not amused. Well, there is Bethany England. She's taken 1 or 2 bashes today.
She's done well. They're just flexing the muscles, Chelsea, and frustrated Arsenal, and just trying to see this game out.
Fair share of cup frustrations. Beth England sub in December in the win, sub in the 16 final, losing side, and she wasn't in the squad in 2018. Conversation with Niamh Charles. Sophie Ingle is standing offside at the moment. Lynn Harder's got a run on Tobin Heath, and it comes put away by Nikita Parris. I think it was dropped in short. But Little will get it away. Will she? Pressurised by Millie Bright, free kick. She's saying there's a little bit of simulation involved.
Millie Bright, neither of those. I'm going to give that up, are they? These 2 experienced campaigners.
It was a foul, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Zinsberger under pressure from England. And this will be awkward as well for Leah Williamson under pressure from Hart. It did very, very well. Good touch. Towards Mead, lovely flick on to Nikita Parris. Heath coming in from the far side, a long way away from Parris, so he couldn't clear her feet. And is that a necessary challenge to make by Jess Carter?
Yeah, she probably did. She's played well today, Jess Carter, but she was just caught. And it looked initially like Parris might be offside, but she made a really good run. Didn't need to win it there. You don't need to win it there. Jess Carter just gives Arsenal an opportunity to put the ball into the box.
Just jockeyed the Arsenal player who was tight to the line and going nowhere really. It's a free kick here that could create danger and could give Arsenal a route back into the game very, very late on, as it is. Arnhem in there, Wooburn Moy with the height, Williamson up, Miedemar an obvious danger. Parris is around the penalty spot, Miedemar trying to slip a mark up and try and get ahead to it. No one away for Chelsea, she's been excellent. Here's Tobin Heath. On to Marnham. Too far away from the excellent skateboarder is Tobin Heath. I didn't know you know that. Lucille wanted to know that. She needs to get her skates on now. They don't get better.
No, they don't. They definitely don't get better. It's just not clicked for Arsenal, has it? Nothing that they've done in that final third.
Well, 4 minutes to go. Who's your contenders or your player of the match? Have you picked one yet?
Yeah, I have. I'm not telling you yet, but I think defensively, Chelsea had to win the battles, and That gives you a clue.
Flick on by Cuthbert. Here's Charles. And away by no one. Over the top for Beth England. Oh, lovely touch. And not far wide. Deserved a goal with that after the exquisite first touch.
Now she works so hard, Beth England. She's always there. Great touch and finish. And I'm not sure Zinsberger knew that was going to go over.
What control. And it flew a margin wide. Wrighton. To the far post. Coming in was Niamh Charles. She's there again. And it's blocked by Little. Miedemar, good in possession by Cuthbert. Fleming, England again, blocked. Harder trying to win it back Chelsea's way. And the clearance was under pressure there. There's from one of the Chelsea players. Who's that gone down in the box? It was cleared away from Arsenal's point of view by Katie McCabe. And Nagura Wright might have been caught.
Yeah, it was a challenge from McCabe. She managed to get rid of it. It's just afterwards. Trailing leg.
And all smiles when she got up, which is good to see. No petulance, no anger at the opposition challenge. How refreshing. Go on then, you're going to put me out of my misery?
Yeah, I think that Chelsea have done a job here on Arsenal, and I think they had to win their individual duels first in the first half, which they did, and I think I could give it to any of the 3 or 4, 5 at the back, but I'm going to give it to Nouwen, number 3 for Chelsea. I think she's been brilliant.
Monique Nouwen, the player of the match. Ooh, it's skipped beyond Niamh Charles and come to Tobin Heath. Rolls inside again and loses possession. Injuries haven't helped her stay in England. Here's Mead looking for Paris with the downward header. It's gone wide, and still Berger hasn't had a meaningful save to make.
The Arsenal WFC Supporters Club Player of the Match award goes to the Arsenal #1, Manuela Zinsberger.
Big opportunity that, you know. There's your player of the match. They've rarely let them through to create like that, have they?
No, they haven't, and they had to do all that hard work in the first half, Jonathan, and I think she's been outstanding alongside Millie Bright, Niamh Charles and Jess Carter.
She will be part of the Netherlands team in the European Championship in the summer, and just watch out for them, the holders, because they'll be very, very dangerous. Here's Little by Carter. And we're approaching stoppage time, and Chelsea can book their tickets for Wembley in the final, it would seem. They were actually advertising them here on the Tannoy system beforehand. He's harder. It's going to be a corner.
The four positions indicated a minimum of 3 minutes added time. 3 minutes.
Was that 3 minutes, I think he said there, added time? Nearly there again at Wembley.
She'll be really pleased with her team's effort today. Difficult coming in after the international break. Really close in the first half. But they scored when they were on top, and that's just so important in games as close as these.
And I don't think a third would flatter them. But Erin Cuthbert is conservative, keeping it out there. Back to the Scottish international. Needs a bit of help. The referee initially gave the throw there to Chelsea, but the assistant had given it the other way, so changed their mind. Hit long, looking for the run of Mead. And away by Berger. Actually unemployed during the game. Here's Little. No Catley. Cross into the middle. Away by Carter. No nonsense. Kay floats that on through and sort of sums up Arsenal, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it's as if they're going to be here all day and they wouldn't score. And when it just doesn't go for you, it doesn't go for you. And playing against a good team, you have to get things right in the final third, and this player's not quite managed it today.
Right at the start of the season, they would have felt that they could change the established order as they beat Chelsea here, but it hasn't happened.
I think there's more to come. I think Edeval's done a terrific job so far with this Arsenal group.
Here's Miedema, here's Mead, surely now, and that's the first save she's had to make, and it wouldn't have counted anyway because it was offside.
She's not had to be involved that much today, Katrin Berger, but when she's asked to step up, offside or not, it's pretty clear offside. It's a clever ball from Miedema. Didn't really need to go beyond Beth Mead.
Inside of out, first Arsenal head coach to win the first 6 league games since Laura Harvey won her first 8 in 2010. Won his first 9 in all competitions, and it all looked so good at the tail end of the summer. And they could end up empty-handed. Here's Cuthbert. Chelsea know they're nearly there. Runs away from Guro Reiten. And Arsenal will look back at the hesitation that allowed her too much room to get the first. She got the second. And Chelsea are at Wembley again, this time for the 2022 FA Cup final, as they look to keep their hands on the trophy. They won against Arsenal in December, and they've beaten them here in this semi-final, and they've beaten them comfortably.
Yeah, I think a professional performance. I think Emma Hayes will be pleased with how her team adapted to it, how they won the battle at the start during that first half, and then had a couple of moments of quality, and then were probably in control of the game, and now they deserve winners, Chelsea.
And Ann-Katrin Berger, their goalkeeper, didn't have a shot to save. Tells the story. Lovely day. It's a day for Chelsea. Blue is the colour at Boreham Wood. They won here by 2-0.
Yes, it is a big, big win for Chelsea, a statement win for this Chelsea side. Farrah Williams, Rachel Brown-Finnis join me pitch side here as we're watching the celebrations. Very, very dismal day for this Arsenal side, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. We said at half-time that Emma Hayes would go in there. She would have been disappointed with the first half performance from Chelsea. She would have made some adjustments, and we saw those adjustments in the second half. We said about G going a little bit higher and supporting Sam Kerr and Beth England, and she did that so well and started to dominate the game. Chelsea come out in the second half, dominated, got their goals, and we just didn't see a response from the Arsenal team. They were really flat in the second half. They had no urgency in their play, you know, like they started the game. So disappointing from Arsenal, but look, Chelsea made a difference in the second half with what they did tactically.
You both predicted what Emma Hayes would do. Do you think Arsenal missed a trick there? They should have seen it coming?
I just don't think that they could respond, had enough depth in their armoury to respond. What Chelsea did well is what they do, and that's win games. They're champions, and this is why. Because they can change gears, as they did in the second half, change gears and absolutely steamrolled Arsenal in the second half. Certainly in that opening 10 minutes of the second half, they just put their foot down, and Arsenal, as Farrah said, just simply could not respond.
And what they did really well, which is what Arsenal didn't do in the first half, is take advantage of those chances when the game is with them, when the momentum is with them.
Yeah, when they had momentum, look, they took chances and they caused this Arsenal back line so many problems. I think the more direct Chelsea were in the second half, the movement from Sam Kerr was fantastic, caused the centre-halves of Arsenal all kinds of problems, and then they punished Arsenal with the chances that they got. And look, the goals that we'll see in a minute were fantastic from Chelsea.
They really were. What's going on in that huddle right now, Rachel? What do you think Emma Hayes is saying to the team?
I think she's saying about how hard that they, how deep they dug. How deep they dug. I think she will have exactly teed it up as it played out, and that was right. Second half, we've got to go up a gear. Everything's got to be a little bit sharper, a bit zippier. So Erin Cuthbert, going to a couple of tackles in that second half, really having that bite and being on the front foot. That's what she expects and demands from her team, is that they perform as world-class athletes every single time they got on the pitch. They didn't have that in the first half, but ultimately Emma Hayes got the response that she required.
I think what's cool about that, look, she took her squad of players over to where the Chelsea fans have been all afternoon singing on their players and did the huddle outside it. So it's fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic to see. Look, Emma knows how passionate these fans are and how much they help this team and drive them forward. They certainly did that today and certainly in the second half. So to go over and share this moment with them is fantastic.
Yeah, certainly in full voice, aren't they?
And this is what we want from FA Cup semi-finals. Days like today, sunny, great playing surface, 2 sets of fans, you know, who've come together and filled the stadium and put on, you know, ultimately a world-class performance. So it's a fantastic day, certainly for those Chelsea fans, certainly for Emma Hayes because of the response she got from her collective, you know, the collective that she has built. This Chelsea team are full of world-class stars, and today they switched on in the second half and they got ultimately the result that they deserved.
Indeed. Well, let's take a look then at that confirmation then of next month's FA Cup final. It is on Sunday, the 15th of May. It will be Manchester City against the holders, Chelsea. Make sure you're with us for that Wembley final on the BBC. We will have live coverage throughout the day. It promises to be such a special occasion for both of those sides, and certainly for that Chelsea side who are celebrating today, reaching that final. They did deserve it, didn't they, Farah?
Yeah, they did. Look, I think what I enjoy about this Chelsea team, they always seem to find a way. The tactical changes that Emma made at half-time, she gave that starting 11 10 minutes to build their way into the game, and they got the goals early in the second half. But it was the tactical changes that she made that really impacted the game and really put pressure on this Arsenal back line, and that's where the goals come from.
Yeah, indeed. Well, let's hear from the player of the match now. She's speaking to Kelly Summers.
Congratulations, you're going back to Wembley again. Just how good, though, was that from the team, particularly in the second half?
Yeah, second half was amazing. First half we were a bit struggling, but yeah, good fall back in the second half, and then, yeah, a really nice win.
What did the manager say to you at the break?
Yeah, just keep going. At the end of the first half, we were getting a little bit better in the game. So keep going on that, and then, yeah, just fight for it. And that's what we did.
2 brilliant goals to win it for you from Guro Reiten and from G as well. But did we see in the celebrations how much this means to this Chelsea team?
Yeah, I think, yeah, we're one big team and one big family. So, yeah, with the goals, we celebrate together, and, yeah, it's amazing.
For you personally as well, you had to keep the likes of Viviana Miedema quiet as well. You are the Vitality player of the match. How much did you enjoy it out there?
Yeah, it was nice to play, yeah, also against Viv, but against them. And, yeah, it was a nice game just to fight, and I like that kind of game. So, yeah, give me more of that.
Well, you've got another one coming up. Manchester City in the final in a few weeks' time. Congratulations. Enjoy the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Yeah, and what a season that Chelsea are having. Let's take a look at the goals from today as well, because they were a couple of beauties, weren't they? Farah, you want to take the first one from Reiten?
Yeah, look, it was a fantastic finish. We'll see here. I think what I was saying is they were more direct. They were closer. They had G in the hole there that was closer to long balls that went in, and it comes back. But it's just here, the defender from Arsenal was really, really poor. They backed off, as you can see here. And Reiten just took the opportunity to take a shot at goal, and it was a fantastic finish. I mean, it was arguably, we were talking about it, you know, whether the keeper could have got to it. And when you see the replay, it was placed so beautifully into the top corner, but questionable Arsenal defending. They can't back off just around the 18-yard box, giving players like Brighton, who we've seen score screamers throughout the season, that much time to get a strike away.
Yeah. I wasn't arguing with her. No chance the keeper saved that. It was a brilliant strike. Brilliant. But, you know, it took that moment of brilliance and the opportunity of the defenders to drop off to unlock.
It turned the game,
It did, absolutely. They were struggling until that point.
And the second goal came from G off the bar. And again, they worked this one so well to get the ball to her, didn't they?
Well, great players find themselves in areas that look like they've got time and they've got space, but what a touch that was from Sam Kerr. A bit of a ricochet, poor defending ultimately, but what a strike. Just that little touch out of the feet, G, and to, you know, hit the stanchion, you know, the top side of the bar, the left-hand side of the post. But they've got to clear the lines, Arsenal, and again, like for the first goal, they just don't get pressure on in those critical areas. Not enough pressure on the ball, and allows a player of world-class stature to dispatch it as she did.
Yeah, and she dispatched it so well, didn't she? OK, let's hear from her manager now. Emma Hayes was smiling in the huddle. Let's see if she's smiling as she's chatting to Kelly Summers.
Of course she's smiling. Emma, congratulations.
Thanks.
You're taking this team back to Wembley once again. Did we see just how much it means? Those scenes at the end were special, weren't
Not
they?
the first 20 minutes of the game. I thought we were horrific. Didn't get our legs going. But once we executed the game plan defensively, I felt we stifled them and they struggled. Goal came at the right time, beginning of the second half, but I thought we completely dominated by the end.
Why did you think you started a little bit slower than you'd have liked?
Do you know, international breaks, you don't know what we're going to get. It looked like we had lead in our legs, and I didn't feel our midfield were doing what we'd asked them to do. So once we'd handled that, once we'd got our defensive shape right, it was a good game from us.
You've got so much quality, we know that, and we saw that in both of the goals, didn't we, from Guro Wright and Anthony
Yeah, but
G?
we got a clean sheet, and we've limited them to maybe one chance in the first half. Anna's maybe tipped one, but beyond that, defensively, we've been solid, and that's our foundation. Now, that keeps us in strong position.
You are, of course, embroiled in a really fascinating title race with them in the WSL as well. How much of a statement is this win over them?
No, nothing. It's just we're in the final. Like, for us, that's where we want to be. We want to go back to Wembley. I think my team know how to execute in the biggest moments, and we've shown that again today.
A final against Manchester City as well. You've had some good battles against them in the past. It's set to be a brilliant final, isn't it?
Don't care who we play with there. That's the main thing. Look forward to it being two world-class teams.
We're looking forward to it as well. It'll be live on the BBC. 15th of May. Look forward to seeing you then, Emma. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you know, I love hearing from Emma Hayes. No, it doesn't mean anything. No, it's not a statement win. Of course it's a statement win, Farah.
Yeah, most definitely. I love how she plays down the fact, but then it's the expectation. They expect to get to finals. They expect to be, challenging on all fronts. So I think that it's probably the expectation that they built, the winning mentality they now have within the squad, that they're expected to get there. And if they don't get there, they're disappointed. So for them to come in here and win convincingly at Arsenal, that's what they expect.
And as for Arsenal, Rachel, look, they started at the top. Chelsea have played catch-up, and they've now taken over them at the top of the table as well. They've missed out here in the FA Cup. There is a chance that this can derail their entire season. They could end up with nothing if Chelsea continue on this charge.
There's a chance of that, but it's certainly a test of, more than anything, I don't doubt the quality that Arsenal have, but I think it's a test of their mental strength now. Their levels of performance from a mental point of view, that is where Jonas Eidevall needs to concentrate on hammering home to his team how important it is to, as an elite athlete, to be really on it from a mental point of view.
Well, there are 4 games to go. That Chelsea are a point ahead. They've got a 5-goal difference as well, in terms of they've got the advantage as well. How do you see that one going?
Look, they're in the driving seat now. They knew that they could close the gap with Arsenal. Everybody spoke about the first game of the season. You don't win the league on the opening game, as Arsenal beat Chelsea did on the first game of the season. And Emma knows that. And I think you've just seen this Chelsea team over the season get stronger and stronger. They're in the driving seat. I can't see them losing between now and the end of the season. And it looks for me as if the title's Chelsea's.
Jonas has been in one season. Emma Hayes has been in for numerous seasons, and that's the difference. That mental strength that Emma Hayes has built across this team, it doesn't just happen overnight.
Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight. Rome was not built in a day. Chelsea, though, in the ascendancy, they have booked their place in the FA Cup final, and they'll be playing Manchester City for the first time in an FA Cup final, which is very strange to think about when you think of the dominance between Manchester City, Chelsea and Arsenal, of course, in that competition. But thank you very much for your company, Farah and Rachel as well. It's been great to have you with us. Great to have you at home as well. Hope you enjoyed that. We're back with the WSL next weekend. Tottenham against Chelsea. Let's see if they can continue their charge in the WSL. And we'll see you again soon. The FA Cup final is on the 15th of May. Bye-bye.
A shot from range. Being allowed to turn. Oh, it could have been so decisive. She's taken it on a stride. Brilliant effort, brilliant goal. Pressure from England. Good save, Zinsberger. Off the bar and in. And that's absolutely vital. Not far wide. Deserved a goal with that. And Chelsea are at Wembley again.